Hello students, today we are starting a new chapter, that is recursion. In your last video sessions, we have learned the function. So today's chapter is also related with the function. Hope all of you should understood the function, how it is called and how it is used, and with the arguments how the functions can be used in many different ways. Hope you all understand. So next start the new chapter, that is recursion. Okay, so the process of calling function by itself is called recursion, and the function which calls itself is called recursive function. Recursion is used to solve various mathematical problems by dividing it into smaller problems. This method of solving a problem is called divide and conquer. So recursion is what? Recursion means when a function calling itself within the function, that is called the recursion. The process is called the recursion, and the function is called the recursive function. So it follows basically the divide and conquer method. Why divide and conquer method? The divide and conquer method is basically to solve that kind of problem where the problem is large, and to solve it easily we are divide that problem into small parts, and after solution of all small parts we are combining together to get the ultimate result. So that process is divide and conquer method. So to solve all that divide and conquer method we are using recursion. So first we should know what is recursion. Recursion is a special way of nesting function where a function calls itself inside it. We must have certain condition in the function to break out recursion. Otherwise, recursion will occur infinite times. So, recursion is when a function calls itself within the function. So, there is a possibility of infinite times the function is running or execute. So we should have to use a particular condition that breaks that infinite times of calling function. So definition of recursion is a special way of nesting function where a function calls itself inside it. We must have certain condition in the function to break out the recursion. Otherwise, recursion will occur infinite times. This is the definition. Let's take a look for an example. Function 1 is the first function. Within the opening brace, function 1 body. Okay, and within this function definition we are calling the function 1 again. Then we are write the function 1 body and close it. So this function is calling itself. So we can say that this is the perfect example of recursion. So let's take a look of syntax of recursive function. What would be the syntax? First, we have to write the return type. Before writing the recursive function, we have to put the recursion. As we have seen in the function, when we declare a function, first we have to put the return type, whether it is integer, whether it is float, whether it is char, or it is void. So after giving the return type, we have to put the recursive function name, and within the first bracket the argument list. Okay, then opening brace start. Okay, and the write all the statements, and within this recursive function definition, recursive function is called again with the actual argument. Okay, and close it. So this is the syntax of recursive function. Okay, now in the definition of recursion, we have used a term that is nesting. So we should know first what is nesting. Nesting means the similar work or similar type is used repeated times. That is the nesting. And this nesting word is used in loops also, the nested for loop, okay, nested while, nested if else. Okay, so similar like looping, nested loop, the nesting function is also used. That means in C language also allows nesting of functions. So we can use or call one function inside another function's body. Okay. We must have be careful while using nested function, because it may lead to infinite nesting. Obviously, when we define a function and within that function, recursive function, we define another user defined function, and that user defined function also called the recursive function, then there is a huge chance for getting infinite function. So let's take an example of infinite function or nesting function. That is, function 1 is user defined function. Within this function 1 body is declared, and then function 2 is declared. Function 1 body here. If function 2 also has a call for function 1 inside it, then in that case it will lead to an infinite nesting. They will keep calling each other and the program will never terminate anymore. Let's consider that inside the main function, function 1 is called and its execution starts. Okay, then inside function 1 we have a call for function 2, but as function 2 also call the function 1, which will again call the function 2, and this will go on infinite times, okay, until you forcefully exit from the execution. So to avoid this nesting, we are using the condition. yeah, that condition break that next nesting. So in recursion or nesting of any function, we have to use a condition, certain condition that breaks that infinite time call. Okay, so this is about the nesting of function. Let's take an example of recursive function. Here we are taking a C program to show infinite recursive function. Has include str.h, int main start. Within int main, printf, using printf we are display hello world. Then after hello world is displaying, we are calling the main function. That means within the main function is called itself. Okay, so again and again the main function is called and the execution is going on. So this is the example of infinite recursive function. Okay, so in this program we are calling main function, which is recursion, but we haven't defined any condition for the program to exit. Hence this code will print hello world infinitely in the output screen. So it is mandatory to use a condition which will break the infinite time execution. So let's take a look for flowchart of recursion. Start a recursive function defined, then within the recursive function whatever the statements we want to write it, then put a condition. If the condition is true, then the recursive function call. Okay, if condition is false, then remaining statements, okay, and the program will execute in stop. Okay, so it is important to use a condition to avoid infinite times execution. So depend on the recursion process, we can divide it into two types. First is direct recursion and second is indirect recursion. What is direct recursion? A function is said to be direct recursive if it calls itself directly. Okay, so let's take an example C program to show direct recursion. So int fibo is the recursive function and the argument is int n. Okay, if n equal to 1 or n equal to 2, then it return 1, else the return fibo of n minus 1 plus fibo of n minus 2. Okay, in this program fibo is a direct recursive function. Why? This is because inside fibo function there is a statement which calls fibo function again directly. Okay, there is a fibo function call itself directly. Okay, so this is the example of direct recursive function. So second type is indirect recursion. A function is said to be indirect recursive if it calls another function and this new function calls the first calling function again. That means indirect function means if user defined function is defined, within that function another function is defined, and within that function the first defined function is called. Okay, so that's why the first function is called indirectly. That's why the first recursive function is indirect recursion. So let's take an example to show indirect recursion. Int function func1 with the argument int n. If n is less than equal to 1, we are putting a condition, then it is return 1, else return function func to n. So this is the second function within the first function. Now int func2 with argument n return func1. That means the second function called the first function. So first recursive function is called indirectly. Okay, that's why this is the example of indirect recursion. Function 1 call function 2, which is new function, but this new function calls the first function. This makes the above example indirect recursion. Okay. So let's look at some example which using recursion or recursive function. It is the example of calculate factorial of a number using recursion. So let's start with has include str.h int factorial int n. Now we are putting the condition if n equal to 0 assigned to 0, then return 1, otherwise return factorial of n minus 1 into n. Now define the main function. Int num and f is variable is used. Printf enter a number. Using scanf we are taking the number for the factorial. Now f contain the factorial value. So f equal to factorial of num. Printf factorial of %d equal to %d, that is num comma f, and it's returned 0. Okay, so in this example, how do we what is the process of calculated using recursion? So factorial calculation is like that. Factorial of n equal to 1 into 2 into 3 up to n minus 1 into n. So again n minus 1 factorial is 1 into 2 into 3 up to n minus 2 into n minus 1. So we can write factorial of n equal to factorial of n minus 1 into n. So we have implemented this recursive relation into our program. This calculation is implemented into the program. So how the above example works, just take a look. Okay, the number whose factorial is to be found is stored in the variable n. Okay, is stored in the variable n. A recursive function factorial, okay, of num, that means the value of n is passed through the num. Okay, calculates the factorial of number. As factorial is n minus 1 factorial into n, we can easily use this calculation in the factorial function to calculate the factorial by recursively multiplying n with factorial of n minus 1. So finally, when n equal to 0, it returns 1. Why? Because all we are knowing that factorial of 0 equal to 1. Okay. Hope you understood this example of factorial. So output would be enter a number. We are getting the display. Now we are putting 7. So factorial of 7 equal to 5040. Okay. Let's take another example of recursive function. C program to print first n Fibonacci series using recursion. So starts with has include str.h, int fibo with the argument num. If num equal to 1 or num equal to 2, then it's returned 1. Otherwise, fibo of num minus 1 plus fibo of num minus 2. Okay, the recursive function is called here. The recursive function is called here. That means the process is in recursion. So let's define the main function. Int I and n variable is used. Printf, enter the required terms. Scanf, %d and %n. Printf, first %d Fibonacci numbers are, okay. Here we are using the for loop. That why the same calculation is we are doing again and again. So we are using to simplify it use by for loop. So within the for loop started with I equal to 1, I is less than equal to n. That means the value of up to the value of n, the condition looping is run and I is incremented. So printf %d /n to take a new line and fibo of I. Here fibo is the recursive function of index I. So in this program, recursion is used to generate Fibonacci series. In a Fibonacci series, nth term can be obtained by adding n minus 1th and n minus 2th term. So mathematically Tn equal to Tn minus 1 plus Tn minus 2. So by using this mathematical calculation, how the example works, let's take a look. The number of Fibonacci terms to be generated is taken from the user and stored in variable. So we are taking the n is the variable, okay, and enter the required term. That means up to how many terms the Fibonacci series is will printed. We are taking it from the variable n. Okay. Next, a for loop is used to loop through the number to be generated, which is sent to the function Fibo. This function is used to calculate and return Fibonacci series. That means here for loop is used, as we discussed. The same calculation is calculate again and again, so we are using the for loop to simplify the problem. And within the printf we are calling the Fibo function. That means the calculation is doing by using the recursive function Fibo again and again. Okay, so inside the Fibo, if the term number is 1 or 2, it return 1. This is why the first two term of Fibonacci series are both 1. As per the definition of Fibonacci series, the printed values are 1 1. Then the next term is 3 passed on to the Fibo function. Since it's not 1 or 2, the next term in the series is calculated by taking Fibo of n-1 plus Fibo of n-2, where n equal to 3. This calculates the last two terms in the Fibonacci series. This is equivalent to Fibo of 2 plus Fibo of 1, which results in 1 plus 1 equal to 2. That means the Fibonacci series use this formula Tn equal to Tn minus 1 plus Tn minus 2. That means first two initialized number is adding and we are getting the third. So if we are initializing it by 0 and 1, so first 0 and 1 will be displayed. For the third time 0 plus 1 we are getting again 1. Okay, and for the fourth term 1 plus 1 is added, so we are getting 2. For the fifth term 1 plus 2 is added, so we are getting the 3. And in this way the process will go on. So the series would be 1 1 2 3 5 and so on. So the output of the above program is enter the required term. Suppose we are taking 7. So the first 7 Fibonacci numbers are 1 1 2 3 5 8 13. Okay, so these are the two main example of recursive function. One example for factorial using recursion and another is Fibonacci using recursion. So there are some disadvantage also using recursion. What are the disadvantage? Recursion programs are generally slower than non-recursive program because it needs to make a function call, so the program must save all its current state and retrieve them again later. This consumes more time, making recursive programs slower. So recursive programs are slower. This is the first disadvantage. Why it is slower? Because in the non-recursive programs we are directly use function, and we by using that function we can perform the calculation easily. But in recursive function the function calls itself. That means the whatever the state used in the user defined function, when the function is called, all the state will be saved first, then it's execute. So this process will slow the recursive function. Okay, so that's why recursive programs are slower. Second disadvantage is recursive programs requires more memory to hold intermediate states in a stack. Non-recursive programs don't have any intermediate states, hence they don't require any extra memory. Second disadvantage of using recursion is extra memory we require to use. Why? Because when the function is called itself, that means the recursion process is execute, then the state of the function is saved in a stack. Okay, then from that stack, that means extra stack or extra memory space will be used for calling the function, the state of function again. That's why this is the another disadvantage. Extra memory location is required, whereas the non-recursive programs don't require the extra memory. Already the states will saved in the memory location, and from that memory location directly it is used. As the function calls itself within the function, and that process is called the recursion, so the state of the function is saved in another stack memory location, and from there we are retrieve that states. That's why extra memory is required for recursive function. So these are the two disadvantages of recursion. Okay. Still we are using recursion to avoid maximum number of function used. That's why we are using recursion also instead of two disadvantage. Okay, hope you will understood today's unit. If any query, please feel free to ask question in the group. Okay, and I will answer all the doubts. Thank you.